What's up, YouTube? I'm Mike, and today I'm back finally with actual bodybuilding content. And before I even get started, I have a small announcement. It may be important to some people, it may not be important to others, but thanks to somebody by the name of Mr. or MJ Dean 89. MJ Dean 89 in the comments section. I'm going to read his comment in a minute. Thanks to this individual, the Discord is back for free again. I just decided today that I missed the communication that I was having on there, and trying to manage it's been a total disaster. I really wanted somebody else to manage it for me, which is what I've been trying to get accomplished for the last couple of months, and nobody's stepping up to the plate. And so I'm just gonna wash my hands of it and put it back up for free as just a forum for everybody to discuss all of the stuff that we like to talk about. I'm wearing my glasses. I'm about to take these off. I can't stand these glasses, man. I know it's hard to look at, but I have to read this comment. So first, let me read the comment. Then I get these glasses off, and I'll tell you what's going on with my cycle. I made a video, I think it was yesterday, maybe. My schedule's, like, my frame of time is just gone on all these meds. But I made a video talking about my surgery that I just had done. And MJ Dean 89 in the comments section said, listen, man, you're out of your element. You're taking time off work. You're in a vulnerable situation. You're in and out of pain, off and on meds, probably coming off PEDs, drastically reduced diet. You haven't been able to work out. I'm not really shocked. Once you get back into the groove of things, you're going to be your more dominant self again. Dude, it's very rare, honestly, that I read a comment ever that is uplifting in the way that comment happened to be uplifting me today. I have been, like I said in my video, horribly depressed for the last couple of weeks, and he's 100% right. There's been a lot going on over the past couple of weeks, and I think every single thing that he mentioned in that comment is likely the major causal factor for why I feel the way I do. So if you want to get back into the swing of things with the Discord, I think I have it fixed. I updated the link in the description. If it's not right, it gives you shit. It's free anyway. We can go back to talking all the craziness that I had a lot of fun with it before, and the problem was just it felt like it had become an extension of me. And that, like, I had to police it, and I had to take, like, responsibility for other people's behavior, and it just became a nightmare. And so I'm going to attempt to do it differently this time, and just have it be a forum for discussion that has my name on it. And so if I don't like something, then I'm just gonna, I don't know how it's gonna go. We're just gonna see how it's gonna go. There was like over 300 people on that Discord before I burnt it to the ground last time. I'm in a substantially more stable psychological state now than I used to be. So maybe it will go better this time. And who knows, maybe it won't. But for the time being, it's up for free. Obviously, I couldn't justify continuing to try to sell it. I'm not making any premium content. I haven't really been making any content at all. And honestly, rekindling the Discord I'm hoping is going to inspire me to get back to making content, because my quality of life has definitely diminished since I stepped away from the bodybuilding community. I don't have any friends in life at all. I don't associate with anyone outside of my wife and my kids. I don't really get along with anyone at work. And so, not having that social outlet, I think, has been honestly a massive negative for me, and it's caused me to lose interest in one of the things that I think that I definitely enjoy the most in life. So that's back up. Check out the link in the description if you want to get back in there, and we'll go back to having fun. So thank you, MJ Dean, for that comment. To his point, that basically everything he said is what's been going on. So for those of you who've been following along, I am still at this point months in now to an experiment that I don't know of. Like, I know that Derek ran this temporarily. I don't know of anyone who has run the experiment that I'm running it in the way that I'm running it as long as I am running it. So I have been on no testosterone at all for greater than 3 months now. I don't know the exact numbers. If I was in a better headspace when I sit down to make this video, I would have better data for you. If you really care about this kind of shit, one of the things that pisses me off a lot in the comment section is when people ask me questions that I've answered like 500 times in a video. So like, if you have a question to ask me, fucking search it on my channel. Like, do me a favor. Like, you know, at least go watch the content that I've already produced, because it does help incentivize me to continue making this. You know, when I stopped pushing the membership content and the ad revenues fell to next to nothing, it's just like, it's not worth my time. And so if I can't, there has to be a return on investment. I'm just not going to participate in anything in my life when there is no return on investment. Speaking of investment, this is the tailored athlete. Don't worry, they did not pay me to say that. I just happen to be wearing this sweater tonight. I'm really starting to like these clothes. They're really turning out great. Check out Tailored Athlete. Big shout out to Harry for sending me the nice stuff that he sent me. But anyway, so there has to be a return on investment. So please do me a favor if you have questions about cycles that I've run in the past, basically anything bodybuilding. It's really not that difficult to search my YouTube channel and get all of that data and get me some more clicks and some more revenue, because otherwise I'm just gonna go back to playing video games and not making this content. So where we stand right now, the cycle that I was on prior to finding out that I was gonna do my oral implant surgery, which really came out of nowhere. I was basically starting to blast again, which was my intent. My intent was to blast through the new year, and I was expecting to go on vacation with my family in sometime in January, and then come back home and settle in for my dental surgery. And without boring you guys with things you don't really care about, some things just kind of financially, some things kind of fit in place, and it made sense to just get it done and take advantage of the extra time off during the holidays to recover, which I'm very thankful that I did, because my recovery is not going as fast as I had hoped that it would go. But because of that, I'm going to try to keep this video short. Like, I can speak, but the longer I do, it definitely, my mouth gets sore from talking for extended periods of time. So I was blasting when I realized that I was going to be having surgery pretty quickly. I was at 800 milligrams of Masteron E per week, like 288. We're just going to call it 300 milligrams of Tren Ace per week. I was taking 300 milligrams of Nandrolone, Decanoate, Deca per week, and I think that was it. I had used some Anadrol here and there. I was taking 4 IUs of GH, and I was running a little bit of MK677. That was primarily me in a cutting cycle, transitioning into what I thought was going to be kind of a slow grind bulk. You know, it's that idiotic thing that we all think we're going to do, where I cut down to a really nice, 200, 205, and now I'm going to try to fluff back up to 215 without losing my abs, because I'm going to eat super clean, and I'm going to prioritize protein and a shit ton of anabolics. And that was the delusion that I sold myself on yet again. And so I was running, so that's the gear that I was running: 800 Mast E, 300 Tren Ace, 300 Nandrolone. Yeah, that's it. So what is that? That's 800, 1100, 1400. There was some other, I guess Proviron was in there for a while. I had maxed out at about 1600 milligrams of gear prior to my surgery. Oh, I guess it was because the Anadrol was in there for a while. So Anadrol at 50 milligrams a day gets you up to 1.6 grams of gear. Honestly, if I'm being totally transparent, I was not feeling phenomenal on that cycle. I was making good progress in the gym, but I think I think more than anything, what I was feeling was the cumulative effects of having been on blast for basically a year straight. So we're now well beyond the point where I have now been on a minimum of 600 milligrams of gear for more than a year, more than one consecutive year now, with a large portion of that year being greater than, being on greater than 900 milligrams of gear. And so I think what I decided was that when I knew that I was gonna have this surgery, obviously my doctor was not excited about me being on 1.5 grams of anabolics, going under any kind of sedation, and so I started pulling the plug on everything. That, to MJ, again, I can't see, MJ Dean's point, is almost certainly having an effect. So I, in a relatively short period of time, I went from 800 milligrams of Masteron E per week, which in my body acts like a very potent antidepressant, and I am now only on 200 milligrams of Masteron E per week. So to think that that doesn't have an effect is insane. So I pulled out a lot of the mast, 200 milligrams of Tren, and then obviously post-surgery I've been in a very steep calorie deficit. I am struggling quite a bit to get calories in, and prior to surgery I was at 207, 210, and I weighed in yesterday at 197.6. This is the leanest, skinniest, tiniest I have been in more than 2 years, which again, obviously is going to have a psychological impact. It's like, yeah, I look phenomenal. My wife is just like, oh my God, like my abs are peeled. I did some push-ups on the ground the other day, immediately got a pump. Like, I have no reason to be feeling negative about my body composition, but it is who I am. Unfortunately, I am this person who just wants to see a particular number on the scale, and watching my body lose weight rapidly is a psychological mind F for me. So you've got lowered calories, lowered androgen levels. I've been literally living in bed, like sleeping anywhere between 16, sometimes 20 hours a day, if you can believe that. I believe it. Like, the amount of sleeping that I've been doing is ungodly. And then I literally haven't left the house. So I have not been outside of my front door since Thursday of last week. So I haven't been to the gym in almost a month. All of these things are going to they're all going to take their toll on someone's psyche, especially somebody like me who, bodybuilding, weight training, is like religion to me. It's like therapy. It's the thing that keeps me on the straight and level. It's the thing. It's my anti-drug. It's everything. And all of the familiar signs and symptoms that is absent from my system have reared their ugly head. As I said in some of my videos about my all on fours, I have never in my life used or abused opiates of any kind. The only time I've ever taken them was way back when I was 17. I cracked a rib and I had hydrocodone for a little while. They have historically made me feel very poorly, and I have not enjoyed the feeling of them. This time around, post-surgery, the pain was so bad that I didn't really have a choice. The pain the day of surgery was just like a white hot noise in my mind. Like it was the most excruciating pain I've ever felt, and I literally could not think through the pain. And so I succumbed to, I was willing to do anything. I mean, I would have done just about anything in that moment. Luckily, 5 milligrams of codeine was all it took to go from excruciating pain to total numbness. And so I'm very fortunate in that, but I got sucked into it, man. And I was taking the hydrocodones like every 4 hours, and my dose went from like 5 at a time to 7.5 at a time. And I was borderline getting ready to get into the 10s and some alcohol, and then the whole time I'm taking that, for the last 2 to 3 years straight, I have like diligently stuck to only taking a half of a milligram of Xanax per day because I know that's something that I've struggled with in the past, and I've been averaging a minimum of a milligram per day for the past week straight. So you've got a minimum of twice the dose of Xanax. You've got opiates in the mix. You've got, unfortunately to admit, a little bit of alcohol one night, and then a lot of sleeping and pain and misery, and it's just a recipe for basically everything that I'm experiencing. So, like he said, not surprised. Basically, I think he said, shocking that this is what you're reporting. How could you not be, right? Let me get a sip. So that's where I've been. That's where I'm at. Where I'm going is that I'm going to try. You guys already know I'm not going to bullshit anybody. I'm going to try to give my body what I think is probably a much needed break. I have been on, like I said, large quantities of gear for over a year now. And for the next 6 months, I can't eat normally. So starting sometime next week, I will actually be able to begin to chew food. But for the next, basically for the next 4 months, I will not be able to eat anything that I cannot cut with the side of a plastic fork. Okay, so that's the metric. If you can cut it with the side of a plastic fork, then I can safely chew it. But I can't bite and pull anything. So no burgers, no pizza, anything that would require me to put something in my mouth and bite down on it and pull it away, I can't have. So no burgers, no pizza. A lot of the things like a chicken strip I couldn't eat. There's a lot of things that I would typically eat on the road. A lot of things that we eat in our day-to-day lives that I will not be able to eat for the next 6 months, give or take. So my objective, my goal, is to try to keep my doses basically where they're at. 70 to 100 milligrams of Trinase per week, 200 milligrams per week of Masteron E, and 300 milligrams or maybe even 200 milligrams a week of Deca. That's the goal. If I stay at 2, 3, if I stay at 3, 2, 1, then I will be cruising on 600 milligrams of gear. Which is probably too much, but I don't really foresee myself going any lower than that. There may come a period where I decide to really do an experiment. I might pull the plug on the Deca because I have not been able to resource it. I had to get NPP. So I might pull the plug on the Deca and get my total androgen load down to 300 milligrams, run something like 100 milligrams of Trinase per week and 200 milligrams of Masteron. I might do that as an experimental cruise, but right now I am continuing to feel perfectly good, relatively speaking, and I have full functionality of all of the parts of my body that I would care about, namely my libido and all of those things, without any testosterone or natural DHT in my system at all. I am continuing to take 0.18 milligrams of estradiol valerate every other day, and I am currently taking a quarter of a milligram of cabergoline every other day. That is what is needed to control what is apparently, I don't know if I mentioned this in a video, I don't know that I mentioned this. This may be the first time I said this. Several weeks ago, right before my surgery, I noticed that I felt what felt like something wet on my shirt, and I'd been having some gyno that I was trying to get dialed in between my estrogen and my cabergoline dose. It was when I had gone up to 300 so I was on 300 milligrams of Trinase and 300 milligrams of nandrolone, and I was only taking 0.75 milligrams of cabergoline, and I started rubbing at my chest, and something felt wet. And so I started squeezing at the lump behind my nipple, and milk came out. It was a very, very small amount. I do have a picture of this. I'm probably not going to cut it into this video. It was the most disgusting thing I have ever experienced in life. I have never felt so gross in my own skin as I felt that day. I went running into the bathroom for my wife to look at it just to make sure I wasn't hallucinating, and we took a picture. It was a very tiny drop of what looked like white to yellowish milk that came out of my left nipple. I had been having some other side effects, namely Decade, that had been creeping back in, so I knew that my prolactin apparently was out of line. But rest assured, the problem with this is that I began lactating, legit lactating, on nandrolone and trenbolone when my prolactin level tests all tell me that my prolactin is in the toilet. So every one of my recent prolactin tests have said that I have below the normal physiological amount of prolactin, and yet I was lactating on Tren and Deca. And so to me, that is case closed, that these things are clearly progestogenic or prolacta something, whatever the word is. What I can tell you is that I increased the dose of the cabergoline and the lactating ceased and has not returned. Obviously, I have, since coming back down off the higher dose, I'm not requiring anything more than a quarter of a milligram of cabergoline every other day. So that's currently where I'm at, due to the fact that when I'm running GH, it causes me to have very high pulse rates. My resting pulse is usually around 100. I knew that was going to be a complication for my surgery, so I got off the GH before going under the knife. Given the fact that my mouth is not healing as rapidly as I want it to heal, I am going to restart the GH tonight at 2 IUs. When I was in the hospital or in the clinic getting my teeth done, the doctor was already concerned that even at the doses I was currently running, my pulse was hanging out around 85 to 90 beats a minute. So he obviously did not feel like that was a good idea. If I go back on the GH, it's definitely going to crank it back up to 100 again. But I'm probably going to anyway. So that's the goal. That's what's been going on. That's what I'm going to attempt. I want to see, can I maintain all of my muscle mass? Can I get back a little bit of what I lost during, during this recovery period when I haven't been able to eat? If I get back in the gym at least 3 days a week and I start eating, getting my protein and everything back up, what will my physique look like on somewhere between 500, 600 milligrams of gear per week? I am supremely confident that it's going to look the same. Honestly, I think that I will possibly, if anything, look better as long as I don't start eating in a surplus. I suspect that I will not start eating in a surplus unless I increase the androgens in an attempt to bulk again. And I hope that I don't do that, because I do think that given everything that's been going on, my body could use a rest. So that's the goal. How long it lasts, who knows? Let me look at my time. Given how depressed that I feel right now, it is very likely that within a couple of weeks back in the gym, I could be back to blasting my fucking brains out again. There's just no telling. It's pretty much the only thing that gives me any peace and comfort in this life. So it may just be that is the lesser of the evils, because if I find myself slipping back into drinking, or God forbid all the hydrocodone tabs that we have laying around this house, or anything self-destructive in that regard, I will go back on blast and go back to dedicating myself to the gym, because it's the only thing that has consistently proven to be productive in keeping me off all of the other stuff that seems to be substantially worse for me and for my family. So there you have it. That is the update. I am still very, very happy on no testosterone. I have what I feel to be a very low amount of androgens. I know that's not low to most people. But for me, 600 milligrams of gear, especially when it's not test, you know what I mean? It's like a tiny little bit of Tren, tiny little bit of Masteron, you know, some Deca. It's like, you know, like, it doesn't feel like anything, you know? Like, to me, Masteron is like almost like a non-factor. And some people actually view it that way. Some people literally just don't. It's almost like they don't even consider it a steroid. In my experience, it's incredibly anabolic and is great for it at a bare minimum maintaining muscle and physiological functionality of activating the androgen receptor. But you know, a Deca mast and a tiny amount of Tren just doesn't feel like a whole hell of a lot to me. But as long as I'm not feeling bad, then I guess I should probably stick there. But anyway, that's what's going on. Check me out. You know, get back in the Discord if that's something you're interested in. If it's not working, I'll fix it one way or the other, I guess, eventually. Or who knows, man. I could burn the whole thing down again tonight. Who knows? There you have it. As always, thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next one.